What's up, YouTube fam? Welcome back. Hope all is well. Now, I got another video for y'all today, and of course, it's always gonna be a good one. Now, this is a video for people who are defending Daniel Penny, the guy who murdered the homeless man with mental illness problems on the subway in New York City. Now, it's a difference from being a hero when you come across a real criminal that's out here that's going to really do some damage to people. Now, you don't get no brownie points for taking out a homeless person, especially when New York City, from New York all the way to California, it's a homeless problem. You know what I'm saying? It's not cool to take somebody's life because they homeless or they got mental illness and off drugs. Now, this guy, Jordan, who got murdered, didn't have a weapon. He didn't have a weapon. I mean, if you know the law on how officers are supposed to operate, you're supposed to identify a threat. Now, somebody who don't have a weapon is not a threat. He didn't have a weapon. You can't turn somebody threatening people into murdering somebody. I mean, that's just not right. Now, you could contain somebody, to make sure, hey, you good, bro? Hey, you don't got nothing. He got contained by 3 people. He didn't have to get choked to death. He didn't have to get choked to death. But now, let's check out what's going on in New York. It's a homeless problem, but you don't get no brownie points for killing a homeless person.
8th Avenue in Midtown is the gateway to the most visited spots in the world. But when 60 million tourists arrive every year, this is what they're seeing. People in distress.
So Midtown Manhattan is supposed to be the center of the universe, but when you look around, you'll see the obvious signs of a humanitarian crisis just getting worse every single day. Which is strange because for months, the city's been trying to clean up this area and help move the homeless off the streets. But the problem is, they've got nowhere else to go.
The city has launched what it calls Operation Front Door. It's a crackdown on issues city leaders say are affecting tourism and people who work in Midtown.
We're dealing with those who are under the influence that are just loitering in the area. We're dealing with those with severe mental health issues in the area. We're dealing with Mickey and Spider-Man not staying in the right area they're supposed to be.
Business owners like Ollie are also feeling the impact. He shared these pictures of what he claims he deals with on a regular basis outside of his clothing store.
We don't have that back where we are. We kind of just keep our head down and keep going.
If you live in New York or just came here to visit, you've probably seen this, especially around Times Square.
Is it just about putting more cops on the streets near Times Square?
So the mayor actually says it's more than that. He says you need to have the sanitation department to get rid of the trash.
Yeah.
You need to have the mental health department to come in and deal with the homeless.
The peer-to-peer outreach has connected over 100 people so far with services. But if that's the case, many wonder why there's still so much despair on display.
So look at this. Midtown Manhattan has a homeless crisis, but there are 15 different homeless service providers right here. And critics say nobody's connecting the dots between these facilities and the growing homeless crisis in this very neighborhood, because they say doing that would reveal that progressive solutions to homelessness aren't all they've cracked up to be. Which is a shame, because New York City plans to spend $4 billion on homeless services next year, which is what they spent on homeless services this year, accomplishing the unfortunate results we see all around us. But what our progressive leaders tell us is that homelessness is very complicated, with many factors leading to its growth, not just here in New York, but all across the country. However, the city's critics maintain that the reasons for our surging homeless crisis are entirely self-inflicted, because although public intoxication is part of this issue, the city seems to have no issue allowing the sale of dangerous products that shatter people's lives and destroy families. But it gets even worse, because critics say the city has no problem also allowing other types of illegal behavior that those who are victims of certain items might engage in order to fund what is a sad downward spiral. Like rampant retail theft, which is so bad here, stores in Midtown employ armies of security guards. And when you look at the shelves, you'll see more products locked up than we have prisoners in our jails, which are empty.
Yeah, and they said that Jordan Healy, was had a whole bunch of charges. Of course, he was probably stealing because he homeless. Look at all this stuff. I don't know his charges. I could look him up. Y'all could go look him up. I don't care. But the simple fact is, you know what I'm saying? The man was homeless. More likely, since he wasn't in jail, he had to have a lot of petty crimes. You know, he might have had some domestic violence in there. I don't know. You know, because y'all always, you know, on that other stuff. But look, I mean, people stealing, homeless people stealing, and they not getting arrested in New York because of I mean, I guess you got to steal a certain amount or whatever.
Because we don't punish stealing, and critics say stealing allows vulnerable individuals to fund bad habits by reselling stolen merchandise to predatory retail criminals, who see the vulnerable as expendable petty crooks who won't go to jail if caught stealing up to $1,000 worth of stuff. And this brings us to the real reason why we seem to have a growing homeless crisis in this city that is just out of control. Our laws protect those who engage in deviant behavior and give them unlimited second chances every time they get caught, while simultaneously not going far enough to punish those who profit from human suffering by taking advantage of the vulnerable or by selling things to people that are bad for them, setting a massive trap those with problems fall into and never get out of. And although arresting our way out of this problem isn't feasible or a good idea to begin with, something's gonna have to be done to get the worst actors on our streets off of our streets, because they're what's contributing to everything we see. But as you're about to see, the city is determined to clean up this part of town because they don't want problems here to affect tourism, which could cost the city billions of dollars. However, they've been working on Midtown since June, and since then, things have only gotten worse. Which has many people wondering if Midtown Manhattan is now so far gone that it has completely passed the point of salvaging. Penn Station and Madison Square Garden, which you see there behind me, you've got a beautiful view of the Empire State Building. And not only is this a very historic part of town, it's one of the first parts of town that people see when they arrive here, and that's something that the city is very concerned about, because it is the center of a humanitarian homeless crisis.
And it's not at all the portrait New York leaders are looking to paint.
It's significant, and that's why we're all working together.
Since February, Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg teamed up with Assembly member Tony Simone.
A lot of these folks need to be helped. They don't need to be just we're not going to arrest ourselves.
Now, you know, it's homeless people. They can't help themselves. They strung out on drugs, and they got mental illness. You know, they messed up in the head. You know, I mean, you gotta when you walk out your door every day, you always gotta have your head on a swivel. Period. It don't matter where you live, because you don't know what's gonna happen. That's just a part of life. You know, ain't nobody gonna walk out out your door and stuff just gonna be safe. Especially not here in America. Everybody got guns. It's a lot of criminals out here. It's good people out here. You're in the mix of everything. You know, that's why they got the suburbs, they got the hood, they got this, they got that. But at the same time, criminals and crazy people is everywhere in the mix of all of that. So Daniel, he don't get no brownie points. He ain't no hero for taking out a homeless guy. Period. With no weapon. I don't care what you say. And this ain't no black and white thing or nothing. It just what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Now let's go to this next video to show more homeless people.
Someone turning half of an entire subway car into their home, filling it with bags, boxes, and clothes on the floor. In another, benches being used as beds.
Now, this is what's going on in New York. This is a problem that need to be fixed by the government. You know, maybe our government need to take care of their people more. You know, all these greedy people. You know, but at the same time, you don't get no brownie points for taking out a guy like this. A homeless person. They already homeless. You don't get no brownie points for nothing like that at all. And it's different ways you handle different situations. You know what I'm saying? For real. If he ain't had no weapon, I don't care what threats or what he was saying. You already know it's homeless people out here. But you don't get no brownie points taking out no homeless people. I don't care what you say, what you think about nothing.
Edwin Rivera says it's why he has trouble finding a seat on the 2 train from 149th Street and 3rd Avenue in the Bronx to his job near Columbus Circle.
At 5:30 in the morning, you get in the car, there's somebody sleeping there. 2, 3, 4 persons sleeping in different cars. The smell is terrible. Sometimes they defecate on themselves, and that's you have to leave that car.
Samuel Santos says it also happens on the A train when he gets on at 181st Street.
A lot of time is standing.
So you see, man, it's a lot of people that's homeless all across the United States. Now, like I said, he homeless. I mean, do homeless people commit crimes? Of course they do. But as an individual, when you step outside, you got to always be willing to protect yourself. Now, if Daniel came across this guy right here, which was homeless, more likely had mental illness problems, and probably was strung out on drugs, and just didn't care. Now, if he came across this guy right here that was out there killing people with a knife, just doing some crazy stuff, he was homeless, okay, all right, yeah, take him down, and for a fact that he just, killed some like 3 people. I mean, who gonna care if you do something like that? Ain't nobody gonna care, because he had a weapon and he actually attacked the people and took their life. Now, like I said, I mean, this guy took some lives and he homeless. That mean y'all got to target everybody like that? No, it don't work like that. But everybody always got something to say until it's on the side of they field.
Good evening, I'm Maurice Dubois.
And I'm Christine Johnson. The woman who died tonight is 36 years old. 2 men also died from their injuries from the attacks. The suspect tonight is facing 3 counts of murder. Investigators say it was a cab driver who helped flag down police to get the man into custody.
The stabbing spanned across 3 different neighborhoods, from 19th Street in Chelsea to 30th in Kips Bay, then up to 42nd Street and 1st Avenue. We have team coverage for you tonight. Jennifer Bisram has more on the suspect. We begin with Jenna DeAngelis in Chelsea with more on the moments these attacks unfolded.
Christina, Maurice, it was a horrifying string of attacks, all which police say were unprovoked. And it began right outside the building behind me here on 19th Street in Chelsea. Surveillance video shows the apparent suspect place a bag down, take off his hat and put on a hoodie. It's around 8:30 in the morning. You can see 2 people pass by walking a dog right before he puts on gloves. Moments later, he looks around, pulls out a knife and puts it in his pocket. Another camera captures him walking along the sidewalk right before police say he stabbed a 36-year-old construction worker, killing him.
You can tell from the tape that it just happens immediately. There was no time for the person to react.
Elton Wells lives across the street and recognizes the suspect. Police identified him as 51-year-old Ramon Rivera and say he is homeless.
That's the guy. Yeah. He basically walks around the neighborhood.
All right. Now, we get the point. It's homeless people out here that commit crime. Just as well as people that got regular jobs and go regular jobs, regular citizens. I mean, we all citizens of the United States, but what you so-called call regular people go out and commit crime all day. Now, you don't get no brownie points for murdering a homeless person, maybe because, this right here happened. You can't target all of them like they got a knife or something. He didn't have no weapon. He only just said words, and that don't give you the reason to take his life. And even if he did have a knife and it was all 3 of y'all and y'all took the knife from him and y'all held him down, I mean, that don't mean that you don't got the right to kill him. If you took the knife, it's 3 of y'all holding him down, come and let the law do their job. But no, you took this man's life. Now, people always got something to say. Now, when this stuff happened on the other side, look at this story. This story just came out. Let me see when this just dropped. All right, 2 days ago in California, school shooting, which wounded 2 kindergartners, a kindergarten.
Authorities have identified the suspected shooter in an attack on a Northern California school. This happened in the town of Oroville, about an hour and a half away from Sacramento. Elise Preston has more.
As investigators collect evidence at this small Christian school, they've now identified the man who they say gunned down the 2 kindergarten students.
His name is Glenn Litton. He is 56 years of age.
Around 1 p.m. yesterday, authorities responded to 911 calls of an active shooter at Feather River Adventist School, about 60 miles north of Sacramento. Butte County Sheriff Corey Honey says Litton had just met with a principal. He supposedly wanted to enroll a family member. Moments later, shots were fired. 6th grader Jocelyn Orlando watched in horror.
One of them got shot 3 times. Then the other boy got shot once. It went through him. He got shot in the stomach.
5-year-old Elias and 6-year-old Roman were rushed to the hospital. A family member says Roman's twin brother witnessed him getting shot.
How are they doing today?
They are still in critical condition, but they have a long road ahead of them, probably multiple.
All right, man. That's a sad story right there. It is. But my condolences go out to them kids. Now, it was a 56-year-old guy who did that. Now, do we go out here and target every 56-year-old guy and say, you know, if they just start blurting out stuff because you seen a 56-year-old go shoot some kindergartens? No matter what the race is, right is right, wrong is wrong. Do we go target all of them? So we see if I go see a 60-year-old guy blurting out some stuff, you know, I got the right to take him down and choke him and take his life away. I mean, come on, get real here now. For real. We been real here. I mean, for real. That's straight cold blood murder. I don't care. I mean, any real officer would know that. No weapon, he don't got to get choked out. But of course, you know, officers do that to people all the time. Officers break the law. They supposed to be on the side of the law. They break the law too. You know, I can't walk out of here. I mean, I gotta look out for homeless people. I gotta look out for police. I gotta look out for regular individuals. I mean, so-called civilized people. Every time I walk out this house, it don't matter what scope of life they live in. I always got to protect myself. And then if I'm going to help somebody and if I see some crime going on, you know, if I'm going to help somebody, they got to be really committing a crime. I got to see a weapon. I got to see a weapon, you know. I'll take them out, you know, if they really putting somebody's life in danger. But if I just see somebody blurting out something, I'm not going to I'm not going to kill you, you know. And even if you had a knife or something, I'll, you know, shoot you in the leg or something. You know, you drop the knife, I ain't gonna kill you. But I got the right to if I wanted to because you got a knife. But at the same time, if you don't got no weapon and you just being belligerent all over the place, I mean, I don't got no reason to kill you, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you, I ain't gonna say nothing to you, you know. And if I gotta get on your ass, then that's what I'm gonna do. And you don't got no weapon, I'm not gonna take your life, especially if it's 3 of us. I mean, you gotta think about if he did have a weapon. I mean, all the people on the train, if y'all fear for your life so much, y'all all gang up on him. Hold them down to where the police could come in and do their job. But it's not for nobody just to take somebody's life. Because I got uncles out here that's homeless, that's on drugs, they got mental problems. I mean, we all trying to work to fix that. You know, we all trying to work to fix it. I mean, we all are. I mean, we trying to fix every goddamn thing, you know, but we only can do what we can. But that don't mean that if my uncle start blurting out some stuff on a bus or somewhere that somebody need to take him out, choke him, and take his life away. Especially when he don't got no weapons, no nothing. I mean, if you just that scared, don't come out the house. If you just that scared, just don't come out the house. Because it's not safe out there. And if you go out there, keep your head on the swivel, you know, and be ready for anything. Because anything can happen at any time. Now, what Daniel, what's his last name? A Penny did was cold blood murder. I don't care about the race. If it was the other way around, if Daniel was a black Marine and the Jordan was white, homeless, It don't matter. If he would have did the same thing, his ass deserved to be in jail. Right is right, wrong is wrong. You know, and that's it. So put what you think down in the comments, and hey, I accept whatever you gotta say, you know, because I don't care. It is what it is. You know, everybody got a right to their opinion. So have at it.